Hi, Jim Haggerty for What Did I Just Watch? And what did I just watch? Well, I just watched a movie called The Mind's Eye. I picked this up in a Dollar Tree, and if you'll notice, there's a quote at the top of the box that says, "The best Scanners sequel that we never got." Of course, we all remember David Cronenberg's revolutionary 1980 sci-fi thriller Scanners. And those of us who spent so much of our lives in video stores in the 80s and 90s will also remember that almost monthly we seem to be getting half-assed Scanners straight to DVD and straight to VHS sequels, which weren't very good, were total dog shit and completely unmemorable. Is this the best Scanners sequel we never got? Well, I don't know about that. It's definitely a Scanners ripoff. But I all right, I'll give it that. It's probably better than any of those straight to video Scanners movies that came out, but not much better. See, why Scanners worked, and quite frankly, I'm going to say something that may, have people throwing tomatoes at their computer right now, but Scanners doesn't really hold up when you watch it now. The acting is terrible. The plotting is awful. The pacing is awful. And really, it even some of the effects are a little, could be better at this point. But what's great about it is the substance, is how heady a story it is, that the government has some drug that can give people telekinetic power and foists it upon expectant mothers so that in, 20 years or so, they can round up all these children and turn them into some sort of an army for the government, and that there's a resistance among them that are then trying to, assert world domination. I mean, it's really pretty heady stuff as sci-fi goes. That, to me, is the strength of the original movie Scanners. The Mind's Eye has none of this. The Mind's Eye doubles down on the gore, even triples down on the gore, and the special effects are very good and very well done, and I can't fault that. I can't knock that. The pacing is fairly good, although it is still a little slow. And I kept finding myself, looking at the time, looking at my phone, and it, starting to feel like, is this almost over? There's not a lot of good acting, not a lot of charisma among the participants. Basically, the story, though, that's the thing. Where they doubled up on the gore, they don't have the plot. I mean, Scanner's strength is its story, I think. And The Mind's Eye doesn't have the story. The Mind's Eye has blood and guts and special effects, which are all very good. But what do we have here? Well, these two, they don't call them scanners, they call them psychokinetics. These two psychokinetics are captured by this institute run by this guy who kind of looks like an evil Ed O'Neill. Who's doing all sorts of experiments on them that we eventually learn he's just extracting their powers from them so that he could have the power himself. And that's it. Like, there's no end game, there's no governmental, involvement. There's no master plan. It's never given to us why he wants this other than he thinks it might be cool to be a psychokinetic. That's it. And as such, it leads me to wonder, well, then why does it seem like he has an entire police force working for him and he has the government on his side and all this, if all of this seems to be self-motivated? So the story's not really there. Much of the movie is bathed in a lot of blue and red light to make it look artsy and stylish and not make it look as cheap as it clearly is. But it's the problem. It's all style over substance. There's no story. The acting sucks. The character's really uninteresting. There's just really not much to recommend in this movie. And I wanted to like it because, I do like Scanners. I think Scanners is still a great story. I think the movie looks really dated, and I think it's one of the few movies that would benefit from a remake or a reboot. Where everything's being remade and everything's being rebooted. I don't know why no one's thought of Scanners, because that to me seems like the obvious choice. A really good movie that could benefit from, someone throwing some better pacing, better acting, and better effects into. But that's, I guess, a story for another day. The Mind's Eye, It held my interest. I will never watch this movie again. It was, I guess I'll say it was worth the dollar I paid for it at Dollar Tree, but I wouldn't have paid more. That's about it. If you've enjoyed this review and you're curious to see the movie, reach out to me. I'll mail you my copy. I don't think I'm ever watching it again. And that's about it. So that is what I just watched. I'm Jim Haggerty, and I'll see you next time. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, by the way, because we want more subscribers, because I know everybody wants to hear what I think about movies. Or not. But, and feel free to comment and give me your thoughts, because maybe you thought The Mind's Eye was just friggin' brilliant and I missed the point. And I'd love to hear what I missed. All right. So anyway, that's it. I'm Jim Haggerty. This is What Did I Just Watch? That's what I just watched. And I'll be watching you. Good night.